Hi there, this is Rich Clingman with the Society of Volunteer Audio Technicians, SOVAT.org. Want to do a brief introduction to the concepts of SOVAT and what makes it unique. This is the beginning of July. I hope to have live lessons going about the middle of August. Let's see here. So, the concept is don't just watch more videos to learn about mixing, instead, build skills by practice and experimentation. In creating this video, I thought that the way that we learn to do audio in the volunteer world is like learning to ride a bike if the way that we learned was to go to YouTube and lesson number one says the way to ride a bike is the muscles have energy that goes to the pedal, and that energy is pushed down the chain to the spokes that the wheel, the tire, and the friction, it pushes the bicycle forward. And it is ridiculous to approach any skill in learning about something. And if you've watched a lot of training and read blogs, people say, oh, you have to use, if we use the bike analogy, you have to use 28-inch wheels. Anything else is just ridiculous. A lot of people get adamant about that, but don't tell me what rim size. Just let me ride the bike, crash, and get back up. I don't care if it's a $30 bike. I just need to be able to get on it and crash. That experimentation, that practice is what's going to get me to where I know how to ride a bike. So, my name is Rich Klingman, and I'm a cool sound dude because I have an old picture of me with a fedora. So the way that I got into sound was I am a technical guy. I've actually started studying electronics when I was 9 years old back in the ancient days with tubes and stuff. But about 2010, I was asked by the pastor that Roger can't be here. Can you do sound, mix the memorial service this Saturday? And it's not going to be hard because there's just 4 microphones and it's not a big deal. And that got me jumping in. You can see our mixer there. This is only about 2/3 of the mixer. It was not a little tiny, 8 inch or 8 channel mixer or something. This was a huge analog intimidating thing. So over the years, I had ended up getting a little PreSonus board for a while and a little bit of equipment. And this guy is Stephen Cade. He's actually in Nashville now, but at this time he was in San Diego, where I was, and I would do a lot of his shows at restaurants. And this particular one was at a pretty fancy jewelry store, hence the tie. So you could stop the video, watch all this, read all this boring stuff. But basically, the bottom line is there's still no easy way for techs to practice and experiment. And I'm able to take a break. This beginning now, I'm taking a break from the corporate world and going to focus on the SOVAT stuff. So what makes this unique is the SOVAT mixer. And you can tell I'm really creative when it comes to titling. So we'll have a contest some year to figure out a better name. So what SOVAT mixer is a browser-based mixer that we can have instructions there. You're not just watching a video, and it's a fully interactive mixer, even while the lesson is going on. And there are some other videos here. If you go to SOVAT.org, there's some example videos where these proofs of concept are running. And you can see that the UI, the layout isn't awesome right now, but it does work on tablets and phones as well as desktop. And I even was experimenting because a lot of this was just more proofs of concept. I just wanted to see what can I do. And so for the first time, I tried using and got working with a MIDI controller on a browser. So an awesome thing about this awesome mixer is that the instructor can configure what the mixer is going to contain. So here you see we have different tracks. There's actually different songs, different controls. On the right, we have an analyzer with a 3-band simple EQ, and we just have a looping white noise. And in the middle here, we have 4-band. Did I say 3 channel? 4-band full parametric EQ, And you can see we have mute buttons as well as solo buttons. And the one on the left we have a example video with this one as well. And this is an example of a lesson where we are transitioning from a message to an altar call. And so the band has come up and they begin playing, and the audio tech needs to understand how to bring that in and have it where it's under the volume of the speaker. Because these are web-based, we can simply put a picture behind the controls and we can make virtually any layout that we want. And so this was just again, a proof of concept where all I was doing when I moved the knobs is it moves those numbers. But we could have virtually any layout. Now we're not gonna, SOVAT mixer is not gonna be a 32 channel full featured browser-based mixer. It just isn't practical and there's no value. But what it can do is a few channels with some complexity. It can have a lot of channels that are simple. And the idea is to build the channel and the controls that are required for that lesson. So if we are talking about how to EQ a voice, we have EQ and a voice, and that voice loops. And then the student is able to experiment with that. So concept again, SOVAT, skill-based instruction. Nobody needs to know everything. One of the things that's I've always found aggravating is virtually all training starts with gain staging. It's like just jumping in but what, this guy I've called the emergency fader pusher. And what does the guy that is asked to do sound this Saturday for memorial service, what does he really need to know? And a servant's heart. This was a concept that Chris Huff of Behind the Mixer and his wife had talked about a while back. And how to do feedback, what to do. You start getting a squeal. What is causing that squeal? Not an in-depth, not looking at EQ, not worrying about it. What do? You back off the fader. You ask the person to get closer to the mic, not step away. That's one of the challenges, of course, is people tend to step away from a microphone, which is the exact opposite. So looking at what do we really need to know for different levels of instruction. A growing library of resources. So SOVAT, I wanted to, these are some websites that have what's called an RSS feed that allows my website, SOVAT, to scan those websites for their articles. They provide that information through their RSS feeds. And then we can have this consolidation of a lot of different resources, including one of the things that is awesome is women in technology. They are underrepresented, and so this is a way to expand that. All right, so let's go watch the other videos and see how this thing and why I am saying it's so awesome.